My name is Rocco Magone, and I played Rock in First Grade Date. So originally we had this script called After Love, and it was just a short scene skit of what you see in the dinner scene. That was supposed to be just the whole short film. We had more time on our hands to really flesh out the script, so we made it into a full-fledged short film and renamed it to First Grade Date to expand upon that double date concept. So I met Jay Smooth, JJ Robinson through my buddy John Sape. John Sape has done Dragon Ice Cream, Bones for Greatest Pictures, and I was doing a DJ set at a local bar, and I wanted to expand the roster there. So he told me, hey, my boys JJ and Braxton also do DJ stuff, and how about you involve them in the fold? So I connected the dots, networked, I would call that networking, and lucked out with two really cool, awesome people, man. And it's really grateful to meet these people in my life, that have these people in my life, and to meet them. And we opened up for Rich the Kid together. We did a couple bar sets together. We did a school gig together. Hopefully we do way more in the future together, all three of us too. But that is how I met Jay Smooth, and in real life his girlfriend is Victoria, so her part, she was down to do that for the film, be the girlfriend character. And I met Ceci through Braxton's sisters. I met Ceci, we did this event prior to Rich the Kid, and I met her there, and for whatever reason she stuck in my head a little bit. And the next, I think, week or so, I reached back out and said, hey, who's that girl that was with us the other night? Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, it was her. Turned out she acted as well. She took classes and stuff, and got her for the project, man, and she killed it. She really killed it. And we also got her in The Janitor, coming out next year. She has a really cool scene in that film. I'm really inspired by early 2000s comedies. I grew up on them. I'm 23 years old right now as I'm filming this. And those Ice Cube, really funny, almost family-friendly comedy films are something that I really like, even if they dive into the R-rated side of things sometimes. So that was really a lot of inspiration for this one. And then Mac and Devin, the Snoop Dogg and Wiz Khalifa film that they did for their soundtrack with Young, Wild and Free, 630, Smoking On, all that. That movie really inspired this one too. Inspired my jacket too in that. It really, those were the inspirations for this film. My favorite scene has to be the chase scene. I really enjoyed just that tension rise there. I think that really makes a movie engaging. Especially in particular a chase scene too. You can never go wrong with those. And that was our first chase scene that we ever filmed, so I think it came out really good. We filmed it on different days, so the lighting in the daytime definitely looks a little bit different here and there if you really pay attention. But that could be me, nitpicking as a filmmaker. But it was awesome, man. Growing up with my buddy Todd and Logan. Todd's actually in the intro scene as the neighbor. All three of us used to write movies together in school, primarily at our sleepovers, back when they were called sleepovers when we were kids. Now they're called hangouts, But it's funny, I was thinking about it the other night. We primarily wrote more romantic comedy films than anything. We had a couple superhero movies there, we had a couple horror films there, but primarily we came up with a lot of romantic comedy films, a good batch of them actually. And I always had a sweet spot for romantic comedy films, like the lovey-dovey stuff. Ghost of Girlfriend's Past with Matthew McConaughey is definitely one of my favorites for sure. It's just really, really something about that genre, man, that is really heartwarming to me. And it's easier to film those than horror films and action stuff. So it's budget-wise and practicality-wise, that helps also. But if they stay at a PG-13, maybe light R stance, they can be really good, feel-good films for a family environment. So romantic comedies, man, I probably prefer to film those over horror, to be honest. And we have a lot more up our sleeve, you know. I think the hardest thing with these movies is the scheduling conflicts. You know, this one took us 3 months to film. Bones, for example, took us 6 months to film. And what's funny with that one, it actually takes place all in one day. Same with this one, but it's just interesting from a filmmaker perspective, you know. But First Great Date took an appropriate amount of time to complete. And it was very fun. You know, this one, there's a lot of outside scenes, so we had to definitely make sure to resume at the appropriate time that we last left off at. And it was really cool to have that as a challenge. The chemistry between the characters definitely was something that's very important in romantic comedies to show on the screen. In this film in particular, you know, like I said, me and JJ were already buddies beforehand, and his girlfriend was already his girlfriend, so the chemistry for them two was sort of, you know, very easy to do. You have to adjust to being on camera though, which is a little bit tough. But the dynamic between me and Ceci was cool because at the time of me recording this, me and her know each other a good bit, but we don't know each other that well. So it's all these dynamics definitely showed on the screen, and I feel like that makes the project more organic to an audience. So this is about our 6th or 7th short film, and up to this point, you know, we're using Sony cameras, boom mics, this, that, and the other. And this time around, I said, you know what? Everybody says you can make a movie with an iPhone. I don't know if it's possible, but let's just do it. So just try it. Let's dedicate a project to doing that and see how it comes out. If it comes out cool, great. If it comes out bad, then don't do it again, you know. But we, or maybe not the same way, maybe a little bit different, but it came out extremely well. This whole movie was shot on a stabilizer for $30. So it was probably one of the best $30 I've ever spent. So yeah, just you really got to position your body to be still. The stabilizer can only do so much too, so you have to work with it. But very impressive with how the iPhone cameras have come out in cinematic mode. We did a shot in slow-mo when my buddy gets knocked out. Yeah, mainly it was, you know, cinematic mode, iPhone 15. I specifically positioned my friends to where I knew their strengths were, to put them in the story to make them shine so they don't have to have too much pressure to act. For example, my buddy Tim, he's just naturally funny, man. I mean, I met this guy at one of my DJ gigs, again, just at another DJ gig, and he was just a funny guy. So I knew what beat to place him on to have him shine. And I think doing that as a writer and a filmmaker, knowing your strengths of your cast and crew and where they shine, and if you put them in a position to make them shine of what they do the best, you should have a well-oiled machine. And that, I feel like, applies to any project, any filmmaker project, any maybe active business. You want to have people that you know and can rely on and count on to show up, be present, prompt, and prepared. Shout out Lawrence Mason. And to shine where they can shine and they know they can. Nothing wrong with taking risks, nothing wrong with trying something new. But if you want people to do their best, make them feel as comfortable as possible with maybe making them familiar with something that it won't be hard for them to do. So I actually met Tenya at a McDonald's. I kept going through the drive-thru every time I would, go to Mickey D's, and he would be there, but he would always call me Brother Man, and I've never heard Brother Man before in my life. And he would always bow to me when I would pass the window, as a respecting, like have a good night, And he was the nicest guy there. And that just stuck with me. Like, you know, it just stuck with me. So one day I said, hey man, I make movies, blah blah blah. I need a part. It was actually for the upcoming Janitor at the time film. So it was him and Ceci that I got in the scene together. That was what I actually originally asked him to do. And then I said, hey man, I got this other movie I'm doing. I think you could pull off a part in it. He's like, you call me, I'll be there. So we did that, and it was awesome, and he killed it. He freestyled all of his lines when it came to stealing stuff. And you know, shout out Tenya, man, he's a real good dude, he's a real good father. He definitely shows me, and I think everybody around him, that if you really want to get something done or achieve something, you will do that by any means. And again, just lucking out, meeting that kind of person at this point in my life is something I'm extremely grateful for. I think networking really makes films work because you don't have to have people show up cold. For example, I met Enrique. Enrique is the owner of the restaurant in the film, and that was actually his real restaurant in real life. I met him through DJ gigs. He was actually the first person that hired me right after high school to do a DJ gig. And through him, it's just networking. And I feel like if you connect the dots and work with what you have and do what you can and not what you can't, shout out Uncle Dave, I feel like you could really, really, really achieve more than what you think you can. Networking, use what you have, connect the dots. I was just telling somebody this the other day, like, I'm around people now that I was never around 5 years ago. I might have 1 or 2, maybe 3 buddies that I went to school with around me in my corner, but it's just everybody I'm around now is because of networking. And my Uncle Jim taught me that, my Uncle Dave taught me that, a lot of business people taught me that, and I feel like it's very important to apply that to what you have to make your dreams work, because you got to start somewhere. And as cliche as that sounds, that's where you have to start if you want to become great. First Great Date is streaming everywhere now. Go watch it. We're going to be pushing it to other streaming platforms as soon as possible. And you know, thank you to everyone that supported these movies up to this point so far, and I can't wait to show you what we have in store for the future. And this is definitely my proudest work to date released so far. And give it a watch. Let us know what you think.